Hello and welcome to the Collapse Experiment. I have an article for you today. As you already know what the topic is from the title of this video, 12 totally valid reasons Gen X doesn't want to work anymore. For those of you who don't know, I am a member of Gen X. I believe the other term is Zillennial, because I was born in 79, so I'm at the very end of Gen X. Some people say that my upbringing, my childhood might fit more of a millennial. No, not really, no. But to stay on point with the article, so I am Gen X. And let's go through these 12 things that they're saying here. Here's why Gen X is stepping back from the 9-to-5 grid, which I will admit I never had a 9-to-5 job, ever. Primarily, my work history is a shit ton of second shift jobs. A shit ton. There was a period of time where I did work 7 to 3 at the hospital. That was a daytime shift. And that was in the ER. And then there was another time where I was 7 to 3. And that was the trauma care unit. Which, man, I thought the ER was bad. No, the trauma care. Like, you see the results of how horrible people in accidents and things can be in the ER, but you truly see how god-awful people are in the trauma care unit. But anyways, to the article. Gen X, the forgotten generation, the latchkey generation. That's called child abuse these days. The Oregon Trail generation represent. These are just a few of the names for the disaffected, sarcastic youth of the 1980s. He-Man, G.I. Joe, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, you are welcome. Now, they are in the fully grown adult workforce, approaching retirement age and finding their lifelong cynicism validated. I still have 20 years. 20 years before retirement is even a thing for me. Gen X grew up with the promise that if you work hard and play by the rules, and you have a nice middle-class life. No, that was not a thing for us. They've watched that promise crumble and fall and are mad about working side hustles and a full-time job. No, I just have 2 part-time jobs and side hustles, including this YouTube channel, which is quite frankly quite a deal for YouTube at this point, because I haven't made any money on the 12 years that I've been on YouTube, and I've just gotten monetized. Granted, I'll admit, the first 11 years, it was just the thing I did. Wasn't taking it seriously, and with the whole war against the YouTube pipe club community, it was never going to be a thing if I continued on with that. So, I publish on the side, and thanks to Amazon, that is no longer a lucrative environment. Here are the real and valid reasons Gen X doesn't want to work anymore. Let's see what they have to say. Burnout from decades of hard work. Yeah, you work hard and you get nothing in return. Well, you got your paycheck, right? From day one, Gen X was taught that they only had to work hard and not break laws, and in exchange that they could have a pretty okay life. Basic needs like housing, medical care, electricity, food, and home life were guaranteed as long as they went to work and did their jobs. No, all that shit got taken away. We might have started jobs that were just like that, and then slowly it was taken away for corporate profits and CEOs to make more money and get bonuses and shit. Desire for work-life balance. There's no fucking balance. Like, I'd really like to know what the divorce rate for Gen X is at this point, because it's working more to cover for home life, and home life crumbles apart because all you're doing is working and you're never fucking there. Gen X watched their workaholic parents get paid enough to provide a nice life for their family, but they have never seen the same benefits. They're simply unwilling to pass that emotionally absent trauma along with to their own kids anymore, and they aren't going to work at any cost of their family. Oh, and they aren't going to work at the cost of their family. Yeah, exactly. Frustration with lack of career advancement. Gen X was the last generation to hear tales of, I started as a janitor and worked my way up to the C-suite. Yeah, that was taken away too. No, there were managers, supervisors above me at the hospital, and one guy was a floor tech when he started, which was like a bump up compared to like what job I was doing. But no, he like learned the job. He started training other people. Next, you know, he's a supervisor. He's got an office. He's overlooking the other floor techs. And then all of a sudden the hospital says, oh, we require you to have a college degree to do the same job that you've been doing for over a decade now. So you either have a year to get your degree or get the out. So he lost his job. Stories like that can be filed along with unicorns, dragons, and other fairy tale dreams that will never be seen in real life. Drinking to that. Oh. Number 4, technological changes in automation. The rise of automation and remote work has left some Gen X members disconnected from the typical office environment. Fuck you, I don't want to hear about the office. Office life was never going to be a thing for me. And what is the percentage of people that work in offices? You have a TV show, everything on the internet is catered to you. Like, how much work is actually performed in an office? I want to know this for real, because the majority of people I know work for a living. They do manual labor, physical work. They don't sit in a cushy chair like this one. Actually, this one's not so cushy. This is like from the 70s. How is it that everything is catered to these office people? I'd really like to know, like, what percentage of the U.S. workforce sits their ass in an office to where everything in entertainment and the internet fucking caters to them. Shift in values. Number 5. In recent years, Gen X has been looking around at work and asking, are we the baddies? Are we the baddies? I love how the German guy in the Nazi outfit is speaking with a British accent. I love it. Are we the baddies? This has led to the priority shift and purpose-driven work that aligns with their values. Yeah, everybody wants to rag on us because we're still like, hey, I did my job. You need to do yours because I'm not doing it for you. This shit's not going to get done unless we all work together. Financial security and early retirement options. Gen Xers who are lucky enough to get a stable career with retirement options are now looking to bail out of the workforce early and are in a position to consider early retirement. If you are in that position, go for it. Because are you really going to look back at your life and say, I really should have just worked until I was 65? I mean, I gained nothing from those years where I finally didn't have to go to work and be mentally and physically abused by people who didn't appreciate the work that I was doing. I mean, unless you're into that. right? I mean, people pay money for that kind of weird shit. But no. If you can get out, do it. 7, age-based bias in employment options. Few Gen Xers have enjoyed the stability of a career entirely with one company that they saw as benefiting their parents, as internal promotions and raises have been stifled. Hate to go back to the hospital, but I was there for 14 years. 7 of those years, no raise. Half of my time working for one company meant not getting a raise. And the cap out, the top pay rate for the job that I was in was $12 an hour. I didn't reach $12 an hour until year 12. And after that point, it was a lump sum check of about maybe $100 before taxes. Because they were like, well, we can't pay you more than $12.05 an hour. So you're not really getting, we just give it to you in a check. What it would be equivalent to in a check? And you're sitting there like, so this coming year, I'm making $100. If I only work the hours that you give me full time, I only make $100 more than last year. Yup. Caretaking for their own parents. Gen X is having to make difficult choices about how to care for their aging parents. And that can often trump professional goals. Many feel sandwiched between caring for their children and their parents, leaving little energy to go above and beyond at work. Well, not going to touch that one. Number 9, too much financial stress. If working 40 hours a week isn't going to remove or even lessen financial stress, why would anybody want to do it? Yes. Here we go. 2 years ago, I worked 4 jobs to bring home more money, and it didn't make a fucking difference. And when we went to do our taxes for that year, we didn't get a tax return because I made too much money. Working 4 part-time jobs to bring home more money, and nothing changed. Nothing. Why? Never doing that again. I do not give a shit. Never fucking doing that shit again. Lost an entire summer for 0 benefit. Weakening labor laws. I'm sensing a good thing here, but let's check this out. Labor laws gave us things like weekends and not dying of black lung after working 16-hour shifts in coal mines instead of going to kindergarten, or at least that's what Gen X heard from their elders while growing up. Gen X has watched working conditions decrease for decades now, and now say things like, in my day, we called cryptocurrency company script in history class. What? Employers that play fast and loose with labor laws will see Gen X ghost their jobs faster than Gen Z ghost a lousy date. Okay, number 10, like, why is this even in here? Because you're not making an argument for anything. I don't understand what you're talking about. You give 0 examples. Kind of disappointed in you right now, whoever wrote this. We'll find out at the end of this. Unattainable healthcare. Oh, this is a fun one. An increasing number of Gen Xers are losing job opportunities because they can't access essential medical treatment. The longer temporary problems go untreated, the longer they turn into long-term and maybe permanent issues. And Gen X is at a point where they are feeling the effects of aging, which is why I work out regularly and try to take care of myself. Number 12, everything is worse now. Has anything ever been better? Does it always seem like everything is always getting worse? Gen X has a burning hot rage about the deteriorating conditions of life in general. Their coming of age was marked by the falling of the Twin Towers. Their home buying years were marked by the financial collapse of a housing bubble that ricocheted through the stock market retirement funds, which if you were smart, you didn't pull your money out and you just bought everything shit ton cheaper at a lower rate for when it rebounded years later. But no, everybody panicked because they're a bunch of morons. That is Gen X's fault. And boomers. I'm going to throw that in there too. That was boomers too. I can't retire now because of what they did. And the pandemic ripped through their middle age. Yeah. Can we arrest Fauci already? Can we make that happen? Not just arrest. Can we just tar, feather, public embarrassment of some kind? Something that matches the horrible state that he left the world in when he lied to Congress about everything. So, who wrote this article? Because number 10, that was pretty weak. Weak labor laws. That was a pretty weak argument that this person made. Cassandra Jorge. Is she a commie? And Laura Ratliff. What a bunch of names here. I can't look them up. Because we are in a off-grid cabin with no internet, no electricity. So anyways, 2 women wrote this. Number 10 was, they should have just made it 11 things. Weakening labor laws. They made zero argument as to that being the case. Everything else seemed to be legit though. So what do you think? Gen X doesn't want to work anymore. Of course, we are getting old. We're tired of doing the work of younger people who just refuse to do the work that they're hired to do. It's the same shit. 20 years later, it's always the same shit. Just repeating generation after generation. So, Gen X, I still have 20 years. I still have 20 years of this shit. So, yeah, I don't want to work anymore either. But I'm stuck doing 2 part-time jobs. As of right now, I have reliable health care. So that argument kind of goes out the door. Yeah, that's about it. So what do you think? Is this true? Is this legit? I think most of this is true. So that's just me. Keep on